For the last decade, DJI has led the charge in the drone game. But recently, Fimi came out with this Mini 3 drone and it does some surprising things. For example, take a look at these two photos and see if you can tell me which one was taken by DJI and which one was taken by the Fimi. Well, this photo is a ruse, and this one was taken with the Fimi. But if you thought even for a moment that that was the DJI, well, it's kind of undeniable that this guy's on the same playing field. Let's talk about some main features here. This guy is small, but he packs 4K at 60 frames, 48 megapixel photos, an AI super night mode, a ton of different smart flight modes, flawless return to home, and everything for just over 300 bucks. That's crazy. Okay, the drone is set up over there, and if you can't tell, it is windy today. It's also freezing. So we're gonna get an idea of how it hovers in the wind, how it flies, all the flight modes, video and photo quality. The remote looks pretty good, and we're going to share the screen the whole time through, but let's have it take off and see how it does. Okay, she's hovering. Now, honestly, in the wind, if you can see my hair being blown, it's not doing a bad job of keeping itself stable, which is really cool. Now, we need to shoot it up and shoot it forward and take a look at the video. One thing I do want to mention is how insanely easy it was to actually get up. It is a one-click kind of drag over and it shoots itself into the air, which is really handy because taking off and landing always kind of freaks me out, even though I've been flying for years. We're going to switch to video mode here. It's working hard to stay in place. We're going to make sure we're at 4K, 60 frames, as good as we can look. We'll hit record and shoot it into the sky. The connection's pretty good. There's a little bit of a delay from hitting and then what it's actually doing. I love that it's got this home button on the screen. So no matter where I fly, I know which direction home is. That's something I really wish DJI had. Sometimes I just had to spin around and kind of see on the screen which direction I was. This one, I don't need to do that. Let's point the camera up. You can see that little bit of delay on the screen. Let's go ahead and just explore around a little bit. One thing to mention here is that the delay on the screen has nothing to do with the drone. It's actually turning very sharp when I'm hitting the button. It all has to do with how it's interacting with the remote, but let's go ahead and push forward a little bit here. It's very pretty. Now, when we're in a big open field, something we need to do, of course, is a speed test. So let's test the normal mode, cinematic mode, and then the speed sport mode in that order. We're going to start with normal mode, and I'm actually going to change my unit here. So I'm seeing miles per hour up in the top middle there, and let's just get it nice and low and shoot it forward. Normal mode looks like we're hitting 17 and a half miles an hour. Let's turn around here. Let's change our settings and we will check out smooth mode, or that is equivalent to DJI's cinematic mode, and push it forward. This one here looks like it's giving us about 13 miles an hour, up to 14. Pushing in that wind is pretty incredible. Turn her around one more time. Let's take a look at the sport mode. All right, here we go. Whew. Wow. Kind of blazed across the field there at 30 miles an hour. I wonder if we can get it any quicker. Let's try one more time here. Crashed into a tree. Next, I want to test the range. We're talking about height and we're talking about distance. We're surrounded by trees and houses, which means that the RC connection point should fail relatively quickly. Question is, will it? Let's see. I'm in normal mode here. I'm gonna shoot it up into the sky, and let's just start by seeing how high we can get, keeping in mind it is a crazy windy day. 136, 150, coming up on 200 feet. $300 feet. RC looks like we've got about 3 out of 5 bars. Let's keep pushing it up. Woo! 400 feet. We want to stay below that because we don't want to get in trouble. So we're 400 feet up in the sky, crazy windy day, but it's not giving me any warning about the wind, which it does do, but right now it seems to be managing it really well. I'm gonna point my camera around a little bit, just look at what's around me. There's some ocean right there, really nice. Now let me point my camera down. Make sure we're not flying over any houses or roads. There's our field. And let's try to push forward a little bit at about 400 feet. We'll see just how far we can get without this remote really giving us some trouble. And we're dropping low on the RC now. So there's the strong wind warning too. So we're really putting it through the ringer here. 400 feet up, we're about 500 feet out, crazy strong wind. The remote is getting choppy, but it says the RC control itself is really strong. Now here's where I want to check. And we've dropped down to 2, 3 bars. But we're about 600 feet out. Now, here's where I want to check the return to home. The return to home is going to drop it down to a preset point, spin it around, and it should drop it right back here on this home mat without a problem. Let's see how accurate that is. Click the auto return button. So it found that little home point. It's coming back by itself. Let's speed this up so we don't have to watch every single second. So it's going to drop the camera down. Then what it does is it slowly lowers itself, looking for that home mat that we launched off from. Once it recognizes and senses the mat, then it kind of locks onto it and drops down onto it, which is really cool. Right now it's slowly lowering itself. It says the landing pad has not been detected yet, but that's okay because we're still 150 feet in the air. Let's see how many feet we need to drop to actually see it. It's coming down on top of my head right now. Hopefully my head survives this video. Okay, at about 23 feet, it recognized the landing pad. Now it's aiming for it. I'm sure this also has to do with your exposure. If it's bright and blown out, the landing pad's going to be hard to see. This time it says it recognized the landing pad. However, the remote also just disconnected and it's landing not on the landing pad at all. Now that's odd, because I watched the Fimi on a bunch of different videos, and one of the things people said was, wow, the return to home is amazing. Best we've seen in any small mini drone like this. Now, I'm very glad it's able to return back to the area. And not just when I tell it to, but if it loses connection or runs too low on battery, you can set it so that it comes right back here, even if you're out of control. Okay, I've reconnected. Wonderful. It's an easy enough process, so let's see if we can test some of these flight modes out. It's got some pretty cool intelligent flight. Let's see what it can do. Hi, we're gonna test some of these smart flight modes. Now I'm gonna tap this little alien head looking thing down here. We're gonna get a lot. The tap fly, waypoint, follow, 3.0, whatever that means. Orbit, spiral, and then we can also adjust our flight modes from there. Now there's a ton of wind. Let's start with the follow, just because it is so darned windy. I'm gonna follow, I'm gonna track. So it should be locked onto me, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start moving that way. Not just moving, but running. So doing a pretty good job turning with me. However, it says the pitch angle is too high, so let's adjust. I don't know exactly where it wants me. Can I hit go now? Aha!
Low battery level. Please land promptly.
Okay, now it is stalking me. Got a low battery level. I'm gonna ignore it for right now, because I know the return to home works. Now it's doing pretty well. Kind of feels like a Black Mirror thing, looking at me and following me. Honestly, it's a little strange to look up in the sky and see a drone following you. I'm gonna charge at it. See how we do that way. It does move backwards, which is very cool. Oh, very well done, Fimi. Okay, we've got our new battery in. Now, something I think is really cool is that even though I took the battery out, the controller disconnected, I put the battery in, turned it on, the controller automatically reconnected. That's very handy to not need to reconnect every single time. Let's test a couple more of these flight modes. I am going to tap and drag, let it do its thing. Okay, we're up here. Let's take a look at the orbit. Orbit, we're going to look straight down here at little old me. Hi, it's me. Now, what we're gonna do is set a central point and then the radius that we want it to spiral at around me. We'll say this is the center. Now we have to set a radius by flying out. Here, we'll set a radius of 26 feet. Okay, we've set the center point. We've set the radius just by flying out. It's going to circle that size. Now I need to set the flight speed, the direction, and the heading. I'm going to leave it all at stock. Let's see what it does. Ready? Go. Oh. Amazing. I'm not looking at the remote, but I assume it's keeping me in the center. For the most part, it's doing an okay job. This is really handy for, well, what are some good practical use cases? This could be useful for someone who wants to see how their hair looks from the back, or someone who's not quite sure if their outfit's perfect or if their shirt's tucked in the back. Now the really nice thing is you can kind of kick it around a little bit. You can throw it from side to side, whip it around, and it really handles the speed and the changes well. Let's take a look at what the photos look like coming out of this thing. There's a few different photo modes. I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to switch us over to photo. And there are a ton of options. There are panoramas, there are time lapses. For now, let's go ahead. We've got a 12 megapixel photo. Let's shoot it in the sky. We're going to compare the 12 with the 48. We'll get it nice and high here. Maybe point ourselves towards the ocean. One thing I want to mention too is that it's actually doing a lot better connecting with the controller right now than it was at the beginning of the video. So that's something important to mention. I don't know exactly what changed, but the controller is a lot more responsive now. We're looking out at the ocean. Let's take a photo there. And then let's change our 12 to 48. .48 takes just a second there. I've also got the same settings here, the ISO, the shutter speed. I can adjust all of that. Come into my settings here. I'm going to move this back to 12 because with 12, we actually have the option to zoom a little bit. Open up our zoom, we'll control it with our thumb, and we have the option to go all the way up to 12 times zoom. Now, of course, it's going to get grainy at 12 times. That is really far in, but that's kind of the point. That's really far in. Look at that little island pulled all the way back to 1 time. That's amazing. And we can probably get 2 or 3 times without sacrificing too much quality in the photos. I want to try return to home one more time now. So I am going to hit return to home, slide it. Let's see if it can actually land on the landing pad we took off from. We've been doing a lot. We've been doing smart motions. We've been having it spiral. We've been zooming it across the field and shooting it up really high to take photos. So it would actually be pretty amazing if it could get even close to the landing pad. Right now it is descending at about 240 feet. Maybe I can guide it. Right here, little man. Just this way. I see you, once again, coming down on my head. No, still missed it. Wasn't able to grab it. So it will land near to the landing pad and turn itself off. Now, the one thing I do like is that when it lands, it stops recording automatically, which is really handy. So the question is the Fimi Mini 3 worth it? Well, the remote's got a little bit of connection issues, but for the video quality, all the flight modes, the size, the speed, what you get for it, I would say, yes. For 300 bucks, absolutely it's worth it. And if you want it, the link is down in the description. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.